Hello and welcome to Brazil for the 16th final round of the 2023 Formula Virtual World Championship. My name is Brad Dowden and I'm joined today by Harry Westwood.
Hola!
Today then the drivers will tackle 53 laps from the Autodromo Jose Carlos Pache, also known as Interlagos. It was Adrian Simon who was victorious here last season. He's not around to repeat his victory, so who can do so today? Then let's take a look at how they line up, and it's Puccio Giordano on pole position with Nathaniel Powers alongside them, two of them for Ocelot and AMR respectively, contending for second in the Constructors' Championship. Finn Schneider goes from third with Enrique Hero starting from fourth. Klaas van Snelheid, the newly crowned world champion, will start fifth. He's looking to make some moves early on those soft tyres. Felipe Cesar lines up directly behind his compatriot, will be hoping for a good first race in his home country. Alexander McLaughlin starts 7th with Matteo Zatici alongside him on row 4, and it's Oit Escolar and Brock Kidd who round out the top 10 as Kidd starts North Star's final race in Formula Virtual. His teammate Hector Draper is right with him in qualifying. He starts 11th. Will Taylor completes the 6th row, putting the two Phoenixes close together. Peugeot Westwood start on row 7 with Zylander ahead of Timo Kinnaman. They've got a little bit of work to do to try and hold back Porsche in the Constructors' Championship in 4th, then we'll be hoping to move forward on the soft tyres. Max Meyer starts 15th, and he's got the lead for Ingram driver Alar Kanga alongside him. James Vasquez directly behind his teammate though. Yukimi Takahashi starts from 18th and completes the 9th row. Felix Baer lines up 19th for Lamborghini ahead of Sergio Alvarez. The Argentinian once again unable to match his teammate. Felix Perez in what could be his last race for first. We'll have to see how that one pans out after the signing of Ruiz alongside Enzo Dominicali on row 11. Stefan Klein lines up 23rd with Hunter Ryan alongside, and on the back row of the grid we've got Marcus Thunder and Daniel Zientek. So as we go down to the grid then, it's Puccio Giordano in pole position on the left, Nathaniel Powers alongside on the front row. It's a long hole, the lights go out now and we're racing in Brazil then. It looked like a good start from Schneider. Powers already up and clear past pole sitter Giordano though. So it's Nathaniel Powers who leads, although Giordano back around the outside of turn 1 with a beautiful move, and Giordano takes the lead back then. Powers loses out there, as did Schneider, who slipped back to 4th behind Enrique Ruiz, the Brazilian, with a brilliant start there. Powers though looking to take it back from Giordano. He's up the inside into Decido Drago, and Powers goes back through into the lead. Schneider as well into 3rd.
It looked like there was a bit of front wing pulling off of that Ocelot, and now Giordano's under attack from Schneider, who's possibly using attack as a form of defence against Ruiz.
Oh, right, Cesar there. Cesar at the inside of Klaas van Snelheid.
Oh, that was a spinning car in the background there, Bradley. We've got a yellow flag. Someone's dropping on the order.
We've got Hunter Ryan.
I think that's... There's several cars dropping.
Yeah, the order there towards the back really shuffled quite dramatically. But it's Nathaniel Powers leading then here as we near the end of the opening lap.
Absolutely. So we got to move into that corner. I can never pronounce it. Jung Kao. Of course it is. But yes, that is Powers, as you say, leading across the line. Whoa, what a move from Klaas at the inside.
Is that to take 5th place back from Felipe Cesar then? We've got Thierry Zylander in the pits, one of the Peugeot Westwoods, and Timo Kinnaman down to 19th as well. Klein also in the pits for 1st.
Oh dear me, that is Cesar going for a move there into Decido Drago, which just, rolls off in most people's tongues, but not mine. And they're still going to go side by side as they run up the hill now into this fast right-hander. Cesar on the unfavoured line on the outside, but he managed to swoop around and take the place. Klaas concedes. What a move.
Unfavoured line and unfavoured tyres. Klaas van Snelheid on the softs compared to Cesar on the mediums, and still he wasn't able to fight it. Zatici as well loses a place to Escolar now and slips to 8th. The Downtons really struggling these opening few laps.
Yeah, well, don't forget as well, we saw them struggle in qualifying. I think it's the first time this season that neither Downton has found itself on the front 2 rows. So it could be perhaps that it's just that the track isn't working for them at the moment. But
what is the end of the year, hey?
Yeah, we finally found a chink in the armour, and it's too late, as that is Class once again going for that move on Cesar. Cesar's now going to power up to the back of him, you'd imagine, in the draft, back down to turn 4. He's closing and closing. He's closing down to one car.
Oh, he goes
he's
for it!
He's move up the inside. He's all over the curb. Bit of a slide job on him there, but he does get his car back in front of Class, who's going to be keen to fight back. He's going to be fuming that he can't get past.
Yeah, he certainly will. But he's through now then. Last Van Schnellheid slips through on the inside and will try and use this infield section now to get away as we see the chaos that unfolded at the start. Oh, so one of the Lopez cars tagged, I think that was Zylander. And so Zylander then, it was a quick stop, so I wonder if he picked up a puncture. Here we go on board with the Belgian later on. He got down the inside.
Oh,
dived down the inside of the two North Stars and caught Brockhead.
Yeah, but it doesn't explain the pit stop because he had to change his front wing.
Oh,
so
and that was chaos there. Oh, that's a heavy hit. And,
yeah, that's
that's Hunter Ryan there. I tell you what, both him and the arrow there of what I assume is Takahashi were very, very lucky to get away with that one.
Yeah, as there's a move there, that is Kinnaman making his 19th into 18th. But no, yeah, that could have been a much nastier accident. The curbs here are quite big, so I don't see why drivers are risking throwing the cars all over them, especially on lap 1. You know, it's a long race. Just seems very poor driving from several drivers in the back of the midfield there that I imagine their team owners will not be pleased with.
Yeah, it certainly does. It's definitely got that sort of last day of school vibe, hasn't it?
Yeah, definitely. All bets are off. And I suppose a lot of these teams as well are in their own various constructors' battles currently. So I guess that could go some way to explaining. But yes, some of those who aren't, maybe just throwing caution to the wind and having a bit of fun. Yeah,
absolutely. In fact, I will just go through and recalculate as to how things are looking in terms of that. Because obviously we've had some moves depending on where teams had lined up. So if you give me 2 minutes.
Will do. I'll commentate in the meantime. They're driving. They're still... no, but Giordano looks like he's... Oh, that's Alvarez making a move there, I think. Relegates Thunder into 20th place. That was a clean move from the Argentine. Who is now going to step about Kinnaman in front as Zylander pumps in another fastest lap.
Oh, that's Taylor going round into Decido de Lago then. Took 2 more. Oh, that's terrible from Will Taylor. That is absolutely ridiculous. And is that Kinnaman?
Horrific. That's Kinnaman with that front wing as well. Oh, when it rains, it pours. Peugeot Westwood. Both cars are going to have to pit to repair their... shunted
chaos again.
And he's been sandwiched. This is incredibly poor driving from the grid. I've never seen the like. Oh, then
Kinnaman's now connected with Alvar. He nearly hits Zylander on recovering.
What is going on? And then he's nearly off the track all by himself. Oh my god.
This is not how Kinnaman would have wanted to say goodbye to Formula Virtual.
Absolutely not. I mean, admittedly, losing his front wing was no fault of his own and being shunted as well.
No, absolutely. But I just mean he hoped for a bit more luck. Yeah,
I suppose it would explain the rejoin as well out of frustration. But yeah, that is a shame. Obviously, we'll talk about that retirement.
Giordano's in the lead.
Oh, he's gotten that place back. So seems like the only real weapon against the. Oh no, because Ruiz is closed in as well. I thought he'd lost some time there, but Ruiz is now right on the back of these. Here we go. So Taylor's checked up the inside, all over these bumpy curves we were just talking about. That's innocent enough. He just spins and drives directly into oncoming traffic.
I think that was Zientek in the arrow, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That's so poor from Taylor.
That's
if we weren't at the end of the season, I'd say that's worthy of a race ban.
100%. And Kinnaman totally unsighted. You don't expect a driver to just rejoin. That wasn't even perpendicular. That was angled against the flow of traffic.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there was nothing Kinnaman could do. He just came across a spinning top in the middle of the road.
And obviously, where that corner is downhill, and you're already pretty loaded up coming in. It's very hard to make any sudden changes to inputs. More likely to cause another crash. As we've got Xander Mack going for a move at the inside. Brock Kidd having absolutely none of it. Holds on to 9th. Meanwhile, his teammate is relegated to 12th. Vasquez trying to get himself into the points. Don't forget, this is for constructor's position. Oh, never mind though. Vasquez has to yield to
Oh,
two
Mayer
cars
slips
in
through.
one corner. Oh my God, Mayer there with a bit of oppo lock under braking. It looked like had to get the car settled down. What a fantastic move! That is the definition of driving by the seat of your pants.
Yeah, it certainly
Brilliant
is.
stuff.
Yes, I'm just looking at how the championship is looking at the moment then, and as it stands, so we've kind of got three battles really, haven't we, going on? We've got Ocelot and AMR for second place, Peugeot Westwood, Porsche and Phoenix for fourth, and then North Star and Ingram for seventh. And if the race were to finish as it currently stands, nothing would change.
Yes.
Back to you, Harry.
But back to Harry. I would, with the quality of driving we've seen on display today, I would be absolutely stunned if we. Oh, as that is a move. One of the core fighters.
Oh, that's an arrow without a front wing.
Oh, that's the empty. Wait, did he pit for repairs? He didn't.
No, it doesn't seem like he
He's
did.
just stayed out. I'll tell you who did pit for repairs again though was Zylander for some reason. He seems to have dropped down again. So just compounding misery for Peugeot Westwood.
I wonder if he picked up another puncture when he was clipped by his teammate.
Oh yes, it could have been. It was like a glancing blow against the front wing, wasn't it? So, I don't know. Was it?
Well, there wasn't a front wing there, but
yeah, that was what I was thinking. I was like, wait, hang on, there wasn't one there. But I suppose sidewall to sidewall with a speed differential like that, if you scrape the wheel rim, it can just cut the tyre. But yeah, no. Who have we got here? That's Klaas. Klaas has picked up the pace in the last few laps. He was struggling to find it, and all of a sudden the car's kind of come alive, set a couple of fastest laps, and now he's kind of on the hunt again.
Yeah, good news. He's broken away from Felipe Cesar, hasn't he? He's left the Brazilian contending with Escolar and Suzuki, and Pitt, to be fair.
Yes, yeah. I'm not gonna lie. I was gonna try and play it off like I heard, like processed what you said, but I didn't. Sorry.
Zientech Pitts now then. Has decided that driving around without a front wing doesn't really work.
Yeah, I mean, given the pace of the Arrow, I can understand trying to experiment with the Arrow, but it is a bit of a bold experiment. We've seen what happens when you remove wings from cars in the past, and it's not always promising.
Absolutely. So, look at that. We've got pretty much the top five then, nose to tail, more or less. This isn't them, but at the point that I was thinking about the comment, if we were watching.
Yeah. I'll tell you who else is some of the big winners in that opening drama. Obviously, the Ingrams have managed to make it through fairly cleanly and get up a couple of spots. Max Mayer as well has done quite well. The two Lamborghinis have done quite well. They're 15th and 16th. They both started further down the order. So some of these guys are definitely making their way through the chaos and through the melee with some varying degrees of success, which could potentially shape, when stops come around, obviously, shape some of the strategy, but we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, it certainly could do. As it stands at the moment then, the top six are running in the order they qualified, incredibly, despite the fact I think every single one of them has been in a different position during the opening 10 laps of this race. As Klaas gets very close to Ruiz, but very, very squirrely through the centre S's. But,
yeah, I think as he just gets closer to Ruiz's car there, that dirty air kind of just washes over, and that is it's such a sudden loss of grip when you get too close that quickly. Oh, it's just looking a bit darker on that camera angle.
Yeah, it does a little bit of that, doesn't it? I mean, we should take this into account. Firstly, it's Brazil. The chance of us getting rain is probably fairly high. I mean, it's Brazil.
It's Brazil, yeah.
And secondly, we should bear in mind the forecast prior to the weekend did say a 75% chance of rain. So, probably towards the latter part of this race. So, it's definitely on the radar.
Yeah, teams will definitely be looking at their radars, or some that might be using the oldest trick in the book, which is just to check for when those in the crowd start putting their coats on and getting their umbrellas out, as that is a move from from Kid up the inside of Zatichi, who is forced to yield there. Kid taking no prisoners. Zatichi's going to fight this back around the... I thought it was going to be around the outside. Tucks back into the draft. Up to the inside. Head down to turn 4. Beautiful move. Oh, on the curb. Unsettles the car, though. Kid
but manages to hold it then.
Pushes him round.
Yeah, he blocks Brock, but Kid's coming back up the inside here then. And Kid through beautifully.
Yeah, stellar move there. So it looks like the softs are actually... The mediums seem to have had their time, perhaps going through a small graining phase at the moment, while the softs seem to be coming alive now, producing a lot more pace for those that were struggling a bit earlier in the race.
Yeah, very much so. And Kid now be looking to disappear from this battle and get pull himself back onto the rear wing, avoid Escala running around in 7th.
Yeah, absolutely. Escala on the, I want to say medium tyres,
I think soft.
Zatichi's come back at Kid though. He's only done it. He's come back at the American. We'll have to get a shot of that some point. Here we go. Oh, he must have done it into turn 1 because Kid will up the inside into turn 4.
Oh, Zatichi holds it around the outside. They're going to be absolutely wheel to wheel then as they exit Descida del Lago up into Ferragura. Zatichi will have the inside line, but Kid has the grip of the soft tyres.
Doesn't look like that inside line is very well rubbered in. Drivers seem a bit cautious to kind of carry too much speed on that line, and finding a lot of the time they're actually yielding to the driver on the outside. So very, very interesting stuff.
Yes, it's certainly. We're certainly getting a fair bit of action, aren't we?
Yeah, we are. I mean, it's pretty fitting. Brazil does normally throw up some pretty chaotic races. We've had a lot of chaos already. We've also had some good action, as you say. But we have had, it kind of does sum up quite well the kind of action-packed season we've enjoyed so far this year, really. Yeah,
very much so. Just point of note, I finally found it. Escala is on.
Thank you very much.
But yeah, as you say, we've had some absolutely fantastic races this season, and I think really, it's been a pretty great season overall. Okay, we've seen one team win more frequently than I think would be conducive to a competitive season. But the racing itself has been pretty brilliant all round.
Oh god, yeah, up and down the grid, it's been phenomenal.
Certainly has. I suppose we should also use this opportunity before things get even more chaotic at the pit stops to talk about this as the final race for a few.
Yeah, well, it's a lot of final races, really, isn't it? It's the final race of the season, final race of the... I'm going to cut that point off because I'm seeing raindrops on the lens.
Oh.
Might have just been that one corner or my imagination. I just hope it's not a thought that the shadow people have put there, but I'm sure I saw some specks of rain.
Yeah, I definitely know what you're saying. I thought I did as well on the off-board shot there into Descida del Lago.
Yeah, in fact, I'm seeing rain on Giordano's car as well. Little drops. I don't know if you can see that.
No.
I think we're getting... that might just be a me thing. In fact, I've got my face right up to the screen right now because there's no other way to watch a race for me. So there's no rain at the start-finish straight. So maybe it was just a very brief shower, but it's threatening as Giordano makes that move, puts Zientek a lap down. And that's important to put a car between himself and the chasing AMRs.
It is, but is Zientek going to come back at him here?
He actually is. Oh no.
Oh, we're about to go 3 wide. Oh, and that was always going to happen. That was so obviously coming as Paolo takes way too much inside line, clips the curbs.
Yes, that was a clear shot of rain as well, so it could go some way explaining as to why Powers completely got that wrong. But as you say, 3-1 is not going to go, especially that corner. tightens quite severely on an apex and exit. So yeah, not a wise move from Powers, who once again makes a silly decision this season. Here we go.
Yeah, I mean, oof.
Oof. He's
He was
lucky
so
to keep his
fortunate
car
there
in one
to not
piece.
wipe out his teammate.
Oh yes, I hadn't even thought of that. Could you imagine the scenes if he'd have taken out his own teammate?
And that
would have
really
been,
shuffles things in the championship now. Then AMR, it's, you know, they need to outscore Ocelot by 20 points if they want to take second place back, and that has put a real spanner in the works for them.
Yeah, and it brought Cesar, who was struggling a bit for pace, right onto the back of Powers, where a track where the draft is quite important. Obviously, up the hill, down to turn, and then up, down to turn 1, down the hill to turn 4. It's really important. If you can get a slipstream, you can get a lot of time. Speaking of the slipstream, that is Kanga utilising it perfectly. No, it's not. Mayer.
Maybe,
okay,
yeah, there we go.
Oh, that was nip and tuck, wasn't it? But
It was
yeah,
indeed.
Kanga with a nice move there in some, what I imagine some greasy conditions down there at turn 4, and yeah, puts the moves and makes it stick, makes them stick.
Yeah,
Oh,
we've definitely
like
got
your-
rain, but it doesn't seem to be impacting them too much at the moment. Although it does appear to be around the whole circuit now.
Yes, yeah, I think right now it's light enough where the slicks are able to cope with it. They just kind of, there's no standing water, which is the main thing. It definitely is not wet enough for well, wets, and in fact, if it stays raining like this, I can't see it getting wet enough for wet tyres. But
No,
I
in
can
fact,
see
there's
it being
almost blue
extremely
sky up
difficult.
there. We saw from that onboard shot.
Yeah,
of
I
the
mean, it's still raining from this shot, but it looks like maybe the rain might be passing over and yeah, because it's sunny as you look up the hill towards the rest of the circuit.
Yeah,
So I wonder if it's like localized on that straight and that the Cid de Lago, and it's just kind of moving away from the circuit.
and it immediately looks quite bright now on board here with Felipe Cesar as we're in the infield section.
Yeah, I think they've yeah, you can see as well as you look down towards where the lake is, that obviously, you know, the famous turn 4 is named after. You can see that is where the cloud is based.
Yeah.
And then you've got sunny sky, although they, oh no, it is raining. Yeah, oh yeah,
Yeah,
it's
that's-
turn 4.
Yeah,
That was a
exactly.
move. Oh, they're going to fight it out. That was close. Oh,
And Zylander
Bloody hell,
squeezing
that
his way
is-
past Marcus Thunder.
yeah, I think throwing caution to the wind at this point. They're already far down enough the order, so does take the risk of chopping off the front wheel of Thunder, and it pays off.
It's definitely the
Yeah, I've
first
got to
sector,
say.
isn't it, where we've got
Yeah,
the inclement
that's where it's
weather.
localized. Zandermac up the inside. Whoa. Taking that much curb in these conditions is a very brave move, but it makes it stick.
Yeah, but Draper comes back at him then. Hector Draper, no, Zandermac can hold it round the
Wait,
outside. They're
wait,
still
wait.
going to go wheel to wheel. Draper
contact.
all over the curb, the sausage curb on the inside, but has to back out of it. Suddenly, in the infield section, it looks darker again now.
I can't get a handle on what this weather's going to do. Like, it
Welcome to
genuinely-
Brazil.
Oh yeah, in fact it is now raining at the final corner. I think maybe there's like some angle stuff going on.
Oh,
'cause like,
Giordano
on the board
Pets.
shot-
The race
Oh,
leader is in.
interesting, Okay.
I totally missed that we'd got to the sort of pit stop window.
Yeah, you'd imagine they would have been trying to hold on for as long as they could in case this rain got heavier, but maybe this suggests they don't expect the rain to increase in severity or
Yeah,
the track to get... Oh, Kid gets held for his own teammate, man.
North Star pitting both their guys though. So North Star
Yes, that's
committing
true.
to not expecting any rain anytime soon. Mayer in
Yeah.
for Lopez as well, and Hunter Ryan in for Corpite. How are
Sorry.
these fresh softs going to cope though? Because you know they're not going to have as much temperature in them, having to be trundled down the pit lane. And I don't think in the rain in the first sector that's going to be what you want.
Yeah, there's going to be feeling like Bambi on ice. That
Their
is,
Clark dives into
there's-
the pit lane as well.
Glass.
Third.
So obviously that extra grip from having the fresh set of boots is no good if you can't fire up the tyres. And as you say, with a bunch of with it raining and cooling the track surface, and your speeds being lower as well, putting less load into the tyres. Oh, it's a long stop for class.
Yes, we've got a yellow flag. I was going to say, through that lap, Giordano managed to half the gap between himself and the guy ahead, which I think was Kangas. We've still got another yellow flag in second one. I mean, Giordano's comfortably through. Klaas just slots in front of James Vasquez. Then that could be crucial for the Dutchman's race.
Yeah,
the
that's important.
has become the first retirement. So I'm assuming he was the cause of the yellow.
Kind of just caps off a miserable day for him, really, doesn't it? He's been involved in accidents that weren't really his fault. Yeah. Something must have prevented him from coming into the pit.
Is it 2 or 3 accidents that weren't his fault? We're only 20 laps in.
I'm sure it's 3, and this DNF could even make it a 4. To be honest, I think he'll just be glad to get out of the car, and here we go,
and he is around other cars. That's a big heavy impact, and a very strange place for a car to end up.
Yeah, it's okay. It looked a bit more. It looked worse off-board, definitely. But those barriers are very much designed for a glancing blow. If you hit them head-on, then it looked very head-on from the off-board shot. But on-board, it didn't look as bad. So hopefully he is all right. Because that's Bayer fighting back against Draper. Oh, it's looking very misty now.
That's Draper coming back through, having pitted.
Oh, of course it is. Yeah. Oh well. Do you know what? If we do see some rain, Lamborghini are looking. Lamborghini and Ingram are sitting quite pretty right now, Bradley. I'm not going to lie.
You say that, but they're still. I mean, Lamborghini is still only 12th to 14th.
That's like
if the medium-tired runners pit and then it rains, then Lamborghini might be looking good.
True. We would have to wait about 10. I would wager about 8 to 10 laps for that though, as Ruiz is still pounding Schneider at the moment. He's just not letting the Finn, no, the Swiss, his name is Finn, have a moment's peace.
Yeah, it's this has been under the radar, absolutely, but quietly impressive from Enrique Ruiz. I don't think we've seen this Ruiz all season, really. We've been treated to like flashes of it, haven't we? But not ever this long. In
not
one go without making throughout a whole race.
Yeah. Wonder if maybe it's that home crowd spurring him on, or the recent exciting announcement that we can discuss as well.
We can. Should we go back and cover the lasts first?
Yeah. So as I was the last race, the season for several drivers and for this car as well. We've got all sorts of lasts all over the grid. I think obviously what would you say the most notable one is? Because I know which one I would choose, but I'm extraordinarily biased, so I can't.
I think it's probably, Kinnaman has been around the longest. I think that's going to be, that's obviously going to be huge. But North Star, disappearing from the grid as well is really big news, as the TV director does us absolute wonders there. It shows Hector Draper pulling a beautiful move on Enzo Dominicali to take 12th place. And then we see Brock Kidd. Look at this. It's almost as if we'd scripted it. But yeah, obviously this is going to be the final race for North Star. It was only an announcement, earlier this week. It's come as quite a shock, and it's going to be hugely disappointing not seeing them on the grid. But there are things going on behind the scenes for the team, and I think we're all echoing the same thoughts, in that we just hope that everything is able to resolve itself for the team and its owner, and they're able to sort of find their feet again, and hopefully maybe one day return.
Ooh. Sorry there was a bit of a squirrely moment there.
That's Giordano trying to come back through on his fresh softs against McLaughlin. McLaughlin doing his teammate a bit of a favour there, then just holding Giordano up a little bit for Enrique Ruiz. Although
Yeah, absolutely. There's only so much you can do there, it looks
Absolutely.
like, but still, what an effort from the Kiwi.
It cost him about a
Mind
second.
you, saying that.
Way up.
Yeah, and that could have cost him. That could have cost Xander Mack a lot more in return. Though that was dangerous. But no, as we've got some of the out of sync boys coming in for their stops. Yeah, no, North Star obviously since their entry into the series have been, a bit of an underdog story. They managed to win a race in their second season. I don't think any other newcomers managed that ever. Which just shows you how impressive the setup is that they've got together at North Star. And as you say, we just hope that everything's okay for the staff and for Nick himself. And yeah, I can't really add on much more to what you've said.
Oh, that's Klaus Van Schnelheid going past Xander Mack, or is it? Because Van Schnelheid gets shoved right onto the grass on the inside then. But I think he's going to get the exit here then. Onto the straight and into Decido de Lago. And yeah, look at the extra speed that Van Schnelheid. That's like passing a Formula 2 car.
GP2 engine, GP2 engine.
Say, Xander Mack will not be particularly chuffed at that one, will he? But through goes Klaus Van Schnelheid, then back into 8th place.
Yeah, but we have seen the Porsche power unit. It hasn't lived up to expectations this season, but it has had the team and the organisation have had a lot of switching around to deal with this season, so it's understandable. But I suppose getting back to the last, so I'm going to steer it back. Oh, hang on, am I? Because I thought I saw someone battling in the background there.
No, you absolutely. The only thing we're going to mention, we seem to be seeing a little bit more rain around the whole of the circuit now.
Yeah.
It obviously doesn't seem like much. They're not diving in for inters or wets yet, but something we will keep an eye on, absolutely. But yes. Yeah. Take us to Tumo.
Oh man, yeah. Obviously, it was a difficult decision, but at the end of the day, Kinnaman, he's had such an incredible career. He's definitely going to be missed by a lot of people in the paddock. It's rare that you get someone in the paddock that doesn't make any enemies. Not just many enemies, just any enemies. You could not find someone in the paddock that doesn't get along with Tumo. And yeah, the sport will definitely be worse off without him, but he'll still be in the paddock in the Peugeot Westwood garage, but he will not drive Formula Virtual Car again. And I know there is something we're planning on doing for him post-season, which will be announced sort of in the coming days after this race. But it's just a shame that right now he's not really able to enjoy his final time out.
Yeah,
racing,
I'm not sure
really.
there'll be much enjoyment going on.
No, but that is a cheeky move. That is Alvarez. Yeah, putting the moves on clean. Obviously coming back through with. Whoa! That's Schneider. Oh, okay. No, it is back.
It is. That's Finn Schneider then.
From
the lead of the race here in Brazil, his engine's gone up in flames, and Schneider is out.
That was very sudden, very dramatic. As through goes his team's championship. Also, Teacher's been held.
Yeah.
Fine. Oh,
Giordano gets through comfortably. So does Klaus, although Schneider has kind of parked right on the apex.
Yeah, not his brightest move. I hope he gets out soon. Yeah. That'd be nice.
He rather needs to.
And yeah, that has just made things a lot harder for AMR. And I
it
think
certainly has. I mean,
right now, rubbing their hands with glee.
Well, I mean, they're 20 points back, so they now need Powers to win the race, with Ocelot scoring less than 5 points.
Yeah, that's a lot to ask of the current circumstances. But with the rain, anything's possible. We won't write anything up yet. I'm not going to curse anything.
What it does now then is something that I don't think we've seen this season at all. It puts Enrique Ruiz into the lead, and of all places, here in Brazil.
Yeah, it is home race. It could not be.
Oh, that was
more clumsy driving. Man.
That's Hector Draper being heavily rear-ended by James Vazquez, and I will be amazed if that Ingram doesn't have some kind of front wing damage.
Yeah, I think you can see on the right end plate there on the front wing. It's missing parts of it. That is a lot of rain gathered up on the actual bodywork of the car now, as Giordano is firmly in the wheel tracks of Zatici to the inside of Cesar pit. So he's seen our first medium-tired runner pit. Got to wonder if it's worth Cesar pulling the trigger, or if they still think it's not going to get wet enough. But Giordano makes that move, sticks Zatici, nearly slides off the track because of the dirty air. He's just got no grip.
Zatici doing very, very little there in the way of assisting his teammate by holding up Giordano. But Cesar gets back out onto the track lane on the mediums, nearly slithers into the wall in the pit lane exit.
Wow. It's looking seriously tricky for those guys out there today. As that is Zanamak going hammer and tong with Brock Kidd. Brock Kidd comes out on top. What another fantastic move around the outside. You just love seeing a move around the outside of a fast corner. It does something to your brain chemistry, you know?
Yeah, it certainly does.
So good.
As Zatici now then with his teammate, albeit only for this race. I'll let you come on to that in a second.
Yes.
Quite nicely with Kinnaman. With Klaas van Snelheid right behind him, and surely Van Snelheid will go through. I think Zatici's going to pit, and indeed he does. Powers comes in as well, as does Escalar from third. Interestingly, the only one of the leading drivers who hasn't pitted is Ruiz.
Yeah, so I wonder if they're maybe waiting out the conditions. They think it's going to get wetter, but doesn't seem to be the general consensus up and down the pit lane. I don't know why I pronounced it that way. Pit lane. But yeah, no, Ruiz, but he's losing chunks of time to Giordano right now. Who in fairness is halfway through his stint and still taking massive time out.
But Ruiz is at home.
Sorry, just cut across. Powers has come up behind Cesar there, so he's lost position. Cesar has managed to perform the undercut. Ocelot have moved him in front of Nathaniel Powers.
Yeah, I mean a race goes from bad to worse then for AMR. But I was just going to say, Ruiz is at home. He knows the weather here. Surely better than anyone else.
Yeah, that's very true. What is that? You don't do that ever. You do not reverse. Wait, why are the Westwards pitting again?
Ruiz dives in now then.
Are we seeing wet tyres?
Oh, Giordano pits as well. Maybe we are.
This could be a master stroke from Porsche.
Yeah, Klaas van Snelheid in. Is this?
No. Why are the soft tyre runners pitting? Because they're just changing onto more softs. This is disastrous.
Very weird. Brock Kidd leads the race.
Right.
Look how slippery it is coming out of the pit lane.
Yeah, just so slow coming out. I don't know what to. What is going on up and down the paddock?
Very
wet. We're seeing wet tyres. So we are seeing wet.
That's full wet.
Yeah. Well, we don't have inters, do we? I'm pretty sure we don't have intermediate tyres. We need one of the interns to get back to me on that. So looks like something from. All I can think of is maybe the teams that went for that early pit stop maybe saw the rain, thought the rain was going to get lighter, and they decided they'd made a mistake. Yeah, but then I'm so confused right now.
Yeah, I think we all are. Brock Kidd pits from the lead then. Ruiz follows him in. So Ruiz, who only pitted a lap ago, Powers in as well. They're all diving in. Surely this is going to be for... It is wet. Oh, that's close between Kidd and Powers.
Oh, look at the amount of standing water in the pit lane.
Giordano and Van Snelheid have carried on their fresh soft tyres.
Oh yeah, look how slow Kids had to go out of the pit lane there.
Well, this could turn the race completely on its head. Powers again. That corner looks treacherous, doesn't it? I'm staggered we haven't seen anyone
really
fall yet.
Well, don't
I did say yet.
Say never, I guess. Yeah, I was going to say the yet is the most important part of that sentence. Oh, so we've got that is Escala going wheel to wheel with Zatici, who makes that move stick, and he's on the back of I want to say Draper.
I'm keeping a very close eye on the times between Van Snelheid and Kidd then. So Giordano and Van Snelheid still out on the soft tyres. Kidd 8.8 seconds behind when he came out of pits. The timing screen, typically. Oh, he's taken a second out of them already. They need to pit. This is going to be a huge loss for Giordano and Van Schnellheid.
Yeah, this is a disaster. But it's played right into the hands of Brock Kidd and Enrique Ruiz, who's obviously chasing down the American on home turf. You fancy it? Klaus comes up. Okay, I thought I saw soft tyres on him.
4.3 seconds for Van Schnellheid. That's a long stop for Downen.
Oh god, yeah, that wall it's just waiting, it's just beckoning, isn't it, for someone to make a mistake.
It's almost like there's a magnet in there. Whoa, Van Schnellheid only just rejoins in front of his teammate. That's how much time they've
really
lost.
Close, actually, considering the gap. I don't think we'll ever get a clear answer as to why teams have pitted 2 or 3 times in the recent laps and only once put themselves on wets. It'll just be one of the forever mysteries of the sport. But, well, I don't want to say any more because I don't want to put any curses on, especially with, you know, the luck they've had this season. But someone's got to be feeling very nervous right now.
You'd imagine so, wouldn't you? It almost feels too good to be true. It's, I mean, this would be a fairy tale, wouldn't it?
Absolutely.
That's a fairy tale to end all fairy tales, but yeah, we won't say too much. Ruiz is closing on Brock Kidd, albeit little by little, but that gap is coming down. But let's go back to Tuma Kinnaman and Zatici as we see his teammate Zylander on screen at the moment, going around the outside of Stefan Klein.
Yeah, in the wet, that is a large testicle manoeuvre. But yeah, so obviously with the news of Tumo hanging up his racing gloves, hanging up the helmet, giving it all up, Peugeot Westwood were forced to find a replacement as Bayer comes into the pit. Must have had some. He's lost his front wing. We'll hopefully see. Yeah, I thought. I forget.
I genuinely thought he was going to stop in the fast lane.
Yeah, yeah. I was like, what you doing there, buddy? I mean, it wouldn't be as bad as seeing somebody reverse in the pit lane like we did earlier, Zylander. Another case of poor driving standards from Zylander in recent races, to be fair. He's had a bit of a shocker, but we'll get back to that later. But yeah, no, so Peugeot Westwood obviously had to make a signing, which this late in the season was quite a task because a lot of the good contracts have been snapped up. But they have managed to find themselves the services of Matteo Zatici, the vice champion of 2023, will be moving to Peugeot Westwood for the 2024 season, which I don't think anybody saw coming, to be honest.
I'm not even sure Peugeot Westwood and Zatici saw it coming, to be honest. That's from far back. Hector Draper launches down the inside of Felix Perez. Escala's out of the... Wow! Perez very nearly loses that one. Escala's out the race.
Yeah, that... Oh, now there's yellow in sector 2. We see this a lot when it starts to rain. These cars, whatever the I don't know what it is, but mechanically they just don't sound.
That's Kanga.
And there goes Kanga.
Right, this is on board with Bayer. Okay,
what is that? That's shocking from the car in front.
But he's on softs. He was on soft. I think he was on slick tyres and just didn't have the grip to. Oh,
you just.
That's
but you just can't brake on the racing line like that. That looks like an engine failure. It looks like the rear axle seat.
Yeah, I was going to say, there's got to be something going on there. I'm not sure that was necessarily. It was a Lopez, wasn't it? I'm not sure that was the Lopez braking. I think it was just lifting off because he had so little grip, and it caught Bayer out, to be honest.
It could be, but I don't know if the engine braking is powerful enough to slow the car down that quickly. I would need to see more replays, really, but maybe. Either way, it's still not safe, to slow down that much on the racing line. You just, especially in changeable conditions like that, I personally would be looking at. But yeah, no, it didn't look like fun for Bayer, that's for sure. Who, after having a promising race up to this point has kind of had that work all undone for him, really.
Yeah, and that retirement as well for Escolar pretty much puts a nail in the coffin of any hopes for Phoenix of taking anything better than 6th in this championship battle then, because Taylor's over a lap down after the rear wing change, with Escolar now out. They almost definitely won't score any points today.
Yeah, and to add insult to injury, Porsche are looking at collecting a serious points haul right now. In fact,
certainly are, so I've just gone through and calculated it. As it stands, Porsche would take 24 points and steal 4th place in the Constructors.
Which would be, considering where they were earlier in their season, is an incredible recovery to pick up those 2 positions in the final 2 races. It could just be a race of fairy tales all around, but obviously they've got to make it to the checker flag yet.
They do indeed, yep. Ruiz is, well, it's dependent on both of them really at the moment, isn't it? McLaughlin's doing his, having to do his part as well.
Although with
Cesar for company, very, very close company.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. Wow. That looks. Oh no. Okay. Hunter Ryan comes back. That's actually Marcus Thunder. Oh, that is Hunter Ryan. Who is it?
I think you're right. I think it's Thunder. Yeah, because he's got Kinnaman right behind him.
Ah, yes, that'll do it. Is Kid going to get through? Yes, he is.
Oh, he nearly slithers off though, but look how close Ruiz is now.
Yeah.
I mean, admittedly there are 2 cars in his way, but is Thunder going to come back at him? Kid slides wide, Thunder through. Kinnaman going through. Ruiz sensing his chance, they've touched.
Oh god, this is a disaster for Brock Kidd, who's under attack from back markers at the moment. And Ruiz, as you say, he's not quite managed to capitalise, but he's put himself right on the rear bumper now of Brock Kidd, who still has to clear these back markers.
Yeah, I mean, well, he was clear. He was clear and ahead of them, and the pair of them have just gone back through.
Yeah, I don't know if he made a mistake going into Ferradura, but
Powers has taken 3 seconds out of them in that one sector.
Ooh, and that would be huge.
Whoa, that's slow from Kinnaman then, and I think that might have checked Kidd up a bit, and this is going to give Ruiz one hell of a run. Down into turn 1 then, Enrico Ruiz on the inside line, into the centre S's, Kidd's on the grass on the outside, Ruiz takes the lead.
Yeah, Kidd, he might have sustained some damage because there was a bit of contact involved around and there. I don't know why Kinnaman's pitted again. It's just a miserable day for the Finn. He's probably wondering if he can just park up. But yeah, Kidd just seems to have lost a bit of grip at the moment. And Ruiz, taking full advantage, has moved himself into the lead.
Yeah, he's not letting Ruiz get away now though. It looks as though maybe Kidd's regained some composure after what really was a horror lap there for the American.
Yeah, to be honest, it is about as bad as it gets, that lap, really. But now they've got the experienced hand of Nathaniel Powers stalking the pair of them for the lead, which could also be huge. Still not that huge, I guess, in terms of the constructors for second, but he's doing everything he can to keep that title hope alive. Not title, the second place hope alive, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, with Giordano in 4th and Cesar 8th, it's pretty unlikely.
It's a big ask.
but
like to say, he's doing,
still 12 laps.
All that he can do. Yeah, true. All it takes. I'm not going to say anything because Roy will kill me. If anything happens.
Well, even if Giordano retires, that would move Cesar up to 7th, which would still be enough for them to hold on regardless, even if Powers won the race.
Oh, oh dear. Thunder. I'm just trying to understand why they can't get past him. He's clearly got like a nice line going. Don't forget, he won his first ever V-Prix. I think his only ever V-Prix here.
Yes.
8 years ago now.
Holy shit, was it really?
In the memory. Yeah. Led home Powers for a 1-2 to your first ever victory.
Yeah. Yeah, which you're back when Brazil was an early race in the season.
Yes, yeah, obviously now it is a late race, but I think that was the second race of the season, something crazy like that.
Third, I think.
I'd be lying if I said I remember.
I say I think. I know it was the third race.
Oh, okay, there you go then.
Oh, there we go,
goes for it
Ruiz.
then, up the inside. Oh, Thunder has to take to the grass and goes wide.
Yeah, well, that's going to let
makes it
Kid
nice
through
and
as
easy.
well then. He's going to fight Nathaniel Powers.
Ooh.
Oh, and he pushes Powers off the track! The former teammates then.
God. That has been massively costly. That's cost Powers at least a second, I would say.
Yeah, well, there we go. As we see it, he's now 1.3 behind Brock Kidd. Giordano took a second and a half out of him.
Oh, another one looking to join the fray. There it is in the background, just ever closing. But no, you are right. Kidd is refusing to let Ruiz go. Although Ruiz, now he's got clear air, is going to be doing his damnedest to put that to bed.
Yeah, he absolutely will. Well, this has all been a bit dramatic, hasn't it?
It has a tad. There's been look how wet it is. They've got to get fully out of the throttle coming down the hill towards Jean-Charles. That is insane. Twin towers in the background. Sorry, I'm like 12. So what?
Enrique Ruiz then.
Giordano's taken more time out of the Powers, lost even more time, so he's still stuck behind Thunder.
Finally, not anymore. Thunder's off the track again.
Yeah, but look how much time he's lost. Although Giordano, you'd imagine, will catch Thunder at a very inopportune part of the track.
Yes, but then it's whether he can get through. If Giordano can force his way through pretty easily, then it won't make a difference.
Yeah, and this is also bringing the Downtons back into play, who, as we mentioned earlier, have had a suboptimal weekend. They're coming back into it. I was just going
to touch on this. This is, admittedly the last race of the season. I should imagine a lot of the Downtons team, especially last match now, are probably quite hungover still after one hell of a party, despite the fact that it's been 3 weeks. But
yeah, it's
nonetheless,
a tradition. The party lasts for a month.
This is arguably Downton's worst performance of the season by some margin.
I don't even think arguably. This is just this is objectively the worst they performed in a race weekend so far.
It's very, very odd, isn't it? But
yeah, very peculiar that their performance has just suddenly dropped off, and
I wonder almost
it might be down to
there's Giordano there. Thunder on the grass again.
Yeah, he's unsettled in that car now. He had it together. I was talking about how nice his line was, and now he can't stay off the green stuff.
Oi, oi. I think someone needs drug testing.
Oh no. Yeah, no. I suppose obviously they've got both championships wrapped up now, and with other championships up for grabs, not other championship positions up for grabs, it could almost be seen as fitting in a way that they've suddenly gained this they've managed to find some performance.
Absolutely. As I was just going to mention, it suddenly looks a lot wetter out there now. We're seeing puddle developing.
Wow, look at the puddling
off the racing line. The rain really coming down here. We've got 10 laps to go in this V-Prix, and in this season then it is still Enrique Ruiz leading from Brock Kidd. But yeah, just
slowly gapping him.
He is indeed. Just back on Downton, I was just going to mention we were discussing this actually before the race. Downton have so far, as Klaas van Schnelwijk now goes down the inside of Thunder, who takes his now conventional line through the grass.
Just say, I wonder if he's looking to rubber that line in a little bit.
I don't know. He clearly thinks there's grip out there, but the fact that he's being overtaken every lap would surely prove him wrong. But apparently he's struggling to grasp that one. But nonetheless, yeah, we were discussing. Downton have had at least one car on the podium in every race this season, which is the first time a team have achieved that, and they were on course to become the first ever team to have a car on the podium in every race. But you've got to, that's probably looking slightly unlikely at the moment.
Yeah, unfortunately, I really can't see it happening. The pace just isn't in the car today. It wasn't there in the dry, it wasn't there in the wet. I mean, they are making more progress in the wet, but still, these guys up ahead of them just seem to be edging them out.
I mean, I think, to be fair, Haas was up into second place, wasn't he? And closing on Giordano, the pair of them obviously on those soft tyres. I think that strategy was working, but that extra pit stop just really scuppered the pair of them.
The mystery extra pit stop, which we'll never know the reason for. Again on the grass for Marcus Thunder. Who's that? That's
Cesar and McLaughlin.
Still chasing Xander Mack. Yeah, can't get close enough to make a move.
I'll tell you what, but McLaughlin really showing his kind of lack of weather prowess here, isn't he? He's lost 5 seconds to Zatici in the last few laps.
Jesus, yeah, that's quite poor.
Or at least I'm sure when I looked not too long ago, that gap was only 15 seconds and now it's 20.
Which begs the question, how much is Cesar being held up, or is he too... don't forget, these guys, limited experience in Formula Virtual in the wet, maybe just struggling to get to grips with how the car behaves when there's a lot of standing water, and sort of just on like a bit of a learning exercise.
Yeah. Yep, very possibly indeed then.
You can see them getting sideways on the exit of Ferradura. What a shot that is. Yeah, that track really is looking seriously
certainly tricky out there now, isn't it? There's even puddles starting to creep onto the racing line in places. I think it's probably a good job we're nearing the end of this one, because I think any longer and we'd be looking at possibly red flag conditions. Not red flag.
It's a fucking sig, mate. Sorry, it's a very obscure reference. Yes, no, it's these tyres can clear, I believe it's around 60 to 70 litres of water. I can't remember, like, I want to say per second, but that sounds crazy. But when they're up to speed, they can clear insane amounts of water. And right now, in some parts of the track, as you say, they're really struggling. I think it's the slower sections where obviously they won't be able to clear as much. They're really struggling to lift that water off the racing line, and so as you say, we're finding these build-ups of standing water. And it's just, it's got to be not terrifying, but certainly not comfortable to drive.
No, definitely not.
How much they've got back off through the turns. As there is Tombs, not technically last, but
this has been possibly the worst race that Kinnaman could have had. He's been knocked about here, there, and everywhere, and to top things off at the end is absolutely hooning it down out there, and he can't actually drive the car at any kind of or anything like its full potential, and he's not even managing to get that enjoyment out of it.
Oh, that's Giordano!
That's Giordano!
Slow. Oh no! This has implications. He's just lost all drive.
I don't know if it does, to be honest. That is Puccio Giordano looking like he's pulling over and out of this race then, and the pole sitter will retire from the final race of 2023, and that's a disappointing end to Giordano's season. However, just noting, with Schneider already out of the race, it does mean that Giordano has already sealed third in the championship. So that's something.
He'll be pleased with that. That's a hell of an effort, yeah. That is an absolutely stellar effort from the Italian, especially considering the state of the Ocelot at the start of the season. Look at this trainer back. Right, let's focus on this battle, because this is going to get hectic. Somebody's going to put a foot wrong here with the conditions as they are, with the tyres now probably being fairly worn out. 5 laps to go. Kid is going to be hungry for the win. Ruiz will want the win. Powers will want the win, because the win could go some way in helping secure second place in the championship, and he's only a couple of seconds off this scrap. Do not go anywhere, because something is definitely about to kick off.
Yeah, you certainly get that impression, don't you? Brock Kidd stalking Enrico Ruiz, trying to push him into a mistake similar to the one that he made earlier on then. But it's going to be a hard task to push Ruiz into an error.
Yeah, I mean the pair of them are like sliding around under braking. They just can't find any purchase on this wet surface.
Ruiz will be desperate to put one of these back markers between himself and Kidd. Although in another way, he'd be keen to not be in front of them in case one of them misses their braking point.
Well, yeah, this is it. And also there's the fact of do you take the risk? Ruiz with I was going to say a slightly compromised line, but when it becomes wet, all bets are off really. You find grip where you wouldn't normally with dry weather. But here we go, neither of them really go. Ooh, okay. Ooh.
I'll tell you what, it doesn't seem to be costing them a huge amount of time though. Powers isn't really... Oh, okay, no, he is. Never mind. I was going to say he's not closing particularly quickly, but suddenly he's just there.
That lap. Yeah, they lost 1.5 seconds in the final Powers that lap. I believe it runs up to Alvarez. No, it runs up to Ryan.
So it's
Hunter Ryan,
Ryan, Clean, Bayer and Alvarez.
I'm so glad you interrupted me because I was just about to get drivers completely wrong. Like I was genuinely. Oh, a mistake from Ruiz, but then a mistake from Kidd, then a mistake from Alvarez in front. Ruiz puts the car between himself and Kidd. That is crucial from the Brazilian.
And he's made it stick as well, round the outside. In the puddles then, Powers now all over the back of Brock Kidd.
I make puddles. Yeah, Powers obviously. I really think this is coming down to an experience thing. You're noticing that Powers and Ruiz are taking slightly unconventional lines. They're finding grip. Brock Kidd isn't as confident, isn't able to go and find that grip where they are, and he's just not able to capitalise on the situation.
You know, so also bear in mind, Ruiz and Powers, both from countries that typically have a decent amount of rain throughout the year. They'll have grown up driving in these kind of conditions. Kidd from America, probably less so.
Yeah, I mean, he's from California, right?
Yes. I have absolutely no idea.
I'm sure I remember reading that somewhere. I could be mistaken, but yeah, I mean, depending on the state, he could have seen some rain, but not as common as you would expect from, say, the junior categories in South America, in the UK and Europe. So yeah, you do make a good point. That experience issue even predates Formula Virtual. Is
Ruiz here chancing another one, and that's around the outside of Felix Bayer, and Ruiz makes it stick. There's now 2 cars between him and his closest rivals.
Yeah, it's looking good, and there's only 2 laps to go after this one. I mean, he's doing everything right. This is the Ruiz we've been missing all season. He's had that killer instinct.
Kidd slides.
Oh, there's a lock up there under braking. Yeah. Oh, that's going to cost him. Look at how close Powers is.
Yeah, Powers gets a kicker on the exit though. I wonder if that's going to have harmed his traction up the hill. And another one there. Oh, it's so wet out here now.
Yeah, that was at full speed.
Oh, class! Van Snelheid drives down the inside.
Up to 3rd. Klaas Van Snelheid. That's into podium positions. Klaas then is wow. That was great opportunistic driving there, and kind of makes his former teammate look like a bit of a mug, really. Look at that spray.
That is.
You saw spray this bad.
I wonder if that's a statement of intent from Van Snelheid then. You know,
maybe
it's known in the paddock. Powers is going back to that team next season for his final year in Formula Virtual. That, I think, is Klaas Van Snelheid going, I ain't going to be no pushover this time round. I mean, I don't think he was a pushover the first time round, but you know, that was Klaas going, I'm going to have the #1 on my car this time. His Kidd now gets around Sergio Alvarez. And Powers now with a sniff back at Klaas Van Snelheid then, but I can't make it because he gets trapped in behind Alvarez. Van Snelheid goes through, follows Kidd. Powers, is he going to get trapped here?
No, he's not. He swoops around, but that was absolutely brilliant defensive driving from Klaas. Talking, like as I talked about very early on in the race, you can easily turn defense into attack and vice versa. By sending that move up the inside of Alvarez, he kind of left Powers with no option but to just either follow him through or try and get stuck behind Alvarez. Fantastic driving from the Dutchman.
Absolutely, and he's managed to pull out a gap between himself and Powers then. There's nothing the Brit can do down into turn 1, and if anything, Klaas is now looking closer to potentially nicking second off of Brock Kidd than he is losing that podium position. But Enrique Ruiz has still got Felix Baer then between himself and his rivals. He's stuck behind Stefan Klein.
Final lap.
But he won't mind that too much. Yes, we are on to the final lap of the race here in Brazil. The final lap of the 2023 season.
Yeah, and wow, what a great race to say goodbye to.
Ruiz!
To the car.
He was out on the wet there, and I thought he was going to skate straight on.
He's been taking that line a couple of times. It gets a bit squirrely under braking, but it seems to set him up nicely for the long left-hander. But no, he seems to have made it out of that danger zone, I guess.
He does,
yeah, it's such a fitting goodbye, I think, to this era of Formula Virtual.
It certainly is. This race has been fantastic as Ruiz goes sideways into Junção for the final time then. But Enrique Ruiz, who really has been missing in action all season, comes together when it matters most for him then. Enrique Ruiz will cross the line to win at home. He wins the Brazilian V-Prix in 2023. Brock Kidd, a fantastic second place, but he's got Klaas van Snelheid breathing right down his neck then, as Downton do indeed take that record. They have a car on the podium in every single race of the season. Powers has to settle for fourth ahead of Zetici, as that's Zander Mack. That's McLaughlin then, who isn't going to score any points, has retired on the final lap here in Brazil. Cesar will take sixth ahead of Hector Draper then, in what I believe is the Kiwis' best drive of the season. That's some time to do it, as the driver market's about to get spicy. Felix Perez is going to take
very true.
big points for first in 8th, but I don't think it's going to do them any good. James Vazquez 9th. Dominicali is going to score a sole point then, surely, as long as he can hold on from Mayer for Lamborghini, which won't do them any good, but it'll give them a nice little boost, you'd imagine.
Yeah, it definitely won't hurt at the end of the season. It's been a hard season for Lamborghini, who obviously, yeah, we haven't seen much of, but I mean, what a drive from Ruiz. Admittedly, the strategy fell his way in terms of other drivers making unnecessary pit stops, but that's the way the game goes.
Yep.
And yeah, he did everything right this race. He didn't put a single foot wrong, did everything he needed to do, and he's a thoroughly deserving home winner. And congrats to Ruiz.
The Ruiz of old returns in Brazil then. There's an accident in the pit lane at the back as they make their way back. But Ruiz will very much mark his intentions ahead of next season then, as he heads back to the pits to start the celebrations and the podium. Here come the drivers out onto the podium. In third place for the Downton FB team, ensuring they've featured on the podium every race this season, Klaas van Snelheid. In second place for North Star Racing, ending his team's time in the series on an incredible high, Brock Kidd. And onto the top step then for the Porsche FB team, taking the team's first victory in Formula Virtual as an outright manufacturer, Enrique Ruiz. And in his honour, the Brazilian national anthem. So there we have it then. It is a home victory for Enrico Ruiz, his first top 3 finish of the season. But what a place to do it, and it's helped Porsche tremendously this season then. Kidd and Van Snelheid completing the podium ahead of Powers and Zatici finishing his final race for Downton in 5th place. Cesar Draper picking up his best result of his career so far. Perez, Vasquez and Dominicali securing a point for Lamborghini. And then further down as we see with that late engine failure robbing him of a points finish, and Tuma Kinnaman not having the final race that he wanted. Giordano and Schneider with those retirements, which means nothing changes between them in the Drivers' Championship. There's Giordano who takes third, then Klaas Van Snelheid ends the season with the biggest ever winning points margin, 290 ahead of his teammate Zatici. Enrico Ruiz jumps up into the top 8 at the last minute. Brock Kidd also gains places, he goes up to 11th, and Perez and Draper with their great results are up as well to 16th and 17th respectively. And Dominicali's sole point also moves him up the order then, as further up Will Taylor and slipped down. And in the Constructors' Championship, Downton end on 538. Ocelot do hold on to second ahead of AMR, and at the last minute then Porsche have taken 4th from Peugeot Westwood. There are no other changes. North Star solidified themselves at 7th in their final season, and Corfai came out top of the new teams. But that's all from our race here today in Brazil, and indeed our 2023 season. From both myself and Harry, thank you for joining us for not only this race but throughout the year, and a huge thanks to Nick as always for continuing to run this absolutely fantastic championship. We have had some brilliant racing this season, and I think we all pray and long may it continue. So all that remains for me to say is, from both me and Harry, thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time for the opening round of 2024 from Adelaide, Australia.